Hello, welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'd like to introduce Karen Wessel, President of the League of Women Voters, serving the people of Hilton Head Island and the Bluffton area, making democracy work. Karen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So talk a little bit about the League.
Well, the League of Women Voters is an organization that has the primary purpose of registering voters, educating voters, and also working on program and public policy.
Okay, and so when did things begin to change, I guess, mostly for women?
Mm-hmm. Well, the League was actually organized during the last meeting of the American suffrage movement. And I think that was about 6 months before the amendment was passed, which would give women the right to vote. At the time, the feeling was, well, now that we're going to be able to vote, how are we going to educate women? How are we going to get them registered to vote and educate them as to the issues, the candidates of the day? And so at that time, they organized the League and set about holding various educational forums and candidates forums.
Right. And who were some of the pioneers in the women's suffrage movement?
Well, there were so many. The League was actually organized by Carrie Chapman Catt. And, but for South Carolinians, there were two very, very important women. They were sisters, Sarah and Angelina Grimke. And a lot of people have never heard of them, and a lot of people don't realize that there were a lot of Southerners involved in women's suffrage and the abolition movement, because those two movements were tied together for a long, long time.
Yeah, and I don't think those are the type of things you read in history books either, you know, so it's really something you have to be educated on.
You don't. You don't read about them, and what was very interesting about them was that they were from a Quaker family, but their father was a huge plantation owner and a judge in the Charleston area. He did not believe in educating women. He did not believe, obviously, in broad, expansive freedoms for people of color. But one thing he did do, of course, was allow his children to learn to read and write, and his daughters were brilliant. And in fact, he took sort of perverse pride in saying about Sarah that if she had been a man, she would have been the most brilliant jurist in all of South Carolina.
Isn't that funny? So when did women actually finally get the right to vote?
In the United States, it was 1920. In other countries around the world, of course, it varied.
Right. Right. And did the right to vote ensure equality for women?
Well, no. The right to vote didn't ensure equality for women, much in the same way that it didn't ensure equality for people of color either. It's been a long struggle. The women's movement has been one of ups and downs over several centuries, and and it continues today.
Sure does. So what are some of the major issues for women today?
Well, for women in the United States, of course, issues are the glass ceiling, for instance, and those are, women trying to get into corporate leadership positions.
Which is difficult.
It's very difficult, still difficult. There's still some prejudice against women out there. Also, getting people women into elected office is another goal.
I do see that expanding, though. Do you not?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Today, women are taking positions in, I think, 50% of all doctors, 50% of all attorneys. And so we're seeing a change, and it's a generational change. Every generation gets better and better.
Right. Well, thank you so much. And if people are interested to find out more information, they can go to the website?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great.
And I should mention that next week we will be hosting Mayor Lisa Sulka of Bluffton at the Low Country Presbyterian Church.
At the Low Country Presbyterian Church, and it's, again,
March 13th at 10 a.m.
March 13th at 10 a.m. Okay, thank you so much,
Karen,
for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
And we thank you so much for joining us on today's Talk of the Town.